I am going to say Dwayne The Rock Johnson, while he appears, he will not wrestle in 2025. It feels like the biggest matches they can do are Rock versus Cody, Rock versus Roman. I do not believe we get Dwayne The Rock Johnson in a WWE ring in 2025, and those matches continue to just hang out there.
Well, Gabe, let's break down why. Because this is something we thought would happen, that he'd at least appear once in the ring. Why is this, if it's true, why is it not happening?
Well, it feels like he only is going, like he's not going to suddenly appear at, Clash in the Castle. Like, really, there's only one show. For me, it makes sense for The Rock to wrestle at. Like him coming back and, even doing Survivor Series or Money in the Bank or SummerSlam, even as they've built up, SummerSlam's clearly the second most important event in WWE because they're making it into a 2-night event. But if we're looking at the major events in WWE, which at this point are the Royal Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, Money in the Bank, and I guess if you want to say Survivor Series, even though I feel like that one's even dying out, the only ones it makes sense for him, and the only ones he's really wrestled at in the past, I mean, he did appear at Survivor Series in that tag match with John Cena. He appeared at the Royal Rumble, and he did WrestleMania. I don't think he's wrestling at Mania this year. It just all seems way too quiet on that front. It seems there's whispers out there that there were some reshoots that he has to do for the live-action Moana movie, and maybe that's what's preventing him from, diving full in and participating in any sort of build towards WrestleMania, whether it be with Roman, whether it be with Cody. And I think if he's not going to wrestle at Mania, it doesn't make a ton of sense for me for him to show up at SummerSlam. It doesn't make a ton of sense because he only wants to be there for WrestleMania because his next match, whenever it is, could very well be his last match. And I can't imagine that, the trivia one day, where was Dwayne Johnson's final match? Oh, it was at the Elimination Chamber. Oh, it was at Backlash. No, that's not going to be the answer to that question. It's going to be WrestleMania. So if he's not appearing at Mania, I'm saying he doesn't wrestle in 25.
Well, then, is that a miss on the WWE's part if we don't see him wrestle in 25?
Yeah, absolutely, it's a miss. But again, there's only so much you can do. Sure. Like when he's leading the life that he has, and he has these reshoots. Again, that's just a rumor I happen to see online. I have no idea if that's true or not. But if things like that pop up in the, especially if it's for Moana, like let's be honest, the other movies Rock has put out recently haven't been. Moana is his new cash cow, right? He's got to strike while the iron's hot on that. So, I think so because he popped up at what was the one they did in it? Bad Blood. He showed up in Atlanta at the end, and there's been a cliffhanger ever since. Like we've been hanging on the edge. Maybe he shows up to clarify where he stands on Netflix, and maybe I can end up being completely wrong. But it's feeling like to me, we're not going to see Dwayne wrestling. And it is a miss because the biggest matches, I mean, if he's the biggest heel of 2024, he was one of the biggest characters in 2024. It feels like if we're making a list of 5 biggest matches WWE could do in 2025, Rock Cody and Rock Roman are in that list of 5. So yeah, it's a miss, but I don't think it's something that they can control. And, it's something that it's out there. They can't, so they got to pivot and deal with something else.
As much as I would like to see The Rock in the ring, guys, with him being the final boss and just showing up and doing some promos is just as good. Eventually, we're going to see Rock, but you just know that when he's on that ramp, when that music hits, and when he speaks, and this is not PG Rock, especially on social media, it's going to have an impact. And so we're going to find out which side is he on. Which side is he on? We're going to find out. Is he on, is he with Roman or is he with Solo? And I think that's intriguing. This Ula Fala is just scratching the surface, this matchup we're going to see on Netflix. But I'm looking forward to seeing which side Rock is on. And if he doesn't wrestle, at least that will extend the story and people will be very interested.
I just feel like that window, though, I feel like The Rock might have a longer wrestling window than Roman at this point. Like, we barely see him as is. Roman seems to be the type of guy that a year from now be like, all right, I'm done, and just walk away, and we never see him again outside of random appearances. That maybe you missed that Roman Rock window, which was ultimately that moneymaker. Like going back to a year ago, because wasn't it that day one where he said, I'm going to sit at the table? That was a year ago.
Table, yeah. When he interrupted Jinder Mahal as the returning WWE champion.
That was in San Diego. That was, a year ago we just saw that, and it was great. But, if it doesn't work out, at least his presence helps in a big way.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I think we get those appearances. I think he pops up every now and again, but I just don't think we ultimately see him in a ring.